Deep beneath the sands of Egypt along the northern coast lies an ancient city called Taposiris Magna. Today, very little remains of its former glory, but what archaeologists discovered underneath might hold the key to solving one of history's most fascinating puzzles. Imagine with me a tunnel buried 13 meters deep in the ground, partially submerged by water, stretching into the darkness for an incredible 1,300 meters. This isn't just any tunnel, fellow explorers. This is a geometric marvel that rivals some of the most impressive engineering feats of the ancient world. What makes this discovery absolutely mind-blowing is how similar this tunnel is to another ancient wonder, the Eupalinian aqueduct on the Greek island of Samos. That tunnel was created by digging simultaneously from two different points, with workers meeting perfectly in the middle after cutting through an entire mountain. The mathematical precision and geometric knowledge required to accomplish such a feat over 2,000 years ago still amazes modern engineers today. But here's what will absolutely shock you. Archaeologists now believe this newly discovered tunnel at Taposiris Magna might lead directly to the tomb of Cleopatra herself. Let's travel back in time to understand why this location makes perfect sense. The city and its magnificent temple were built by one of Cleopatra's own ancestors, Ptolemy II. Every architectural element seems to indicate that this sacred place was dedicated to the ancient god Osiris and his queen Isis. Now, here's the fascinating connection. Throughout her entire reign, Cleopatra actively sought to associate herself with the goddess Isis. So it wouldn't be surprising at all if she chose this sacred location as her final resting place, where she could be united with the divine for eternity. But fellow seekers of truth, the search hasn't been easy. Natural disasters over thousands of years, including devastating earthquakes and massive floods, have destroyed much of the ancient city and possibly flooded these underground tunnels. Archaeologists haven't yet pinpointed the exact location of Cleopatra's tomb, but they're using cutting-edge modern technology to continue their quest. They've deployed special ground-penetrating radar that allows them to see what lies beneath the earth without having to excavate everything. This incredible tool lets scientists analyze underground structures before they even touch a shovel to the sand. Since 2011, researchers have been carefully mapping what lies hidden below using this revolutionary technology. Why is finding Cleopatra's tomb so important? The answer will amaze you. This discovery could help us piece together the final mysterious chapters of her life, especially what really happened during those last dramatic days of her reign. Truth seekers, we still don't know the exact cause of her death. Some ancient sources suggest she may have deliberately allowed herself to be bitten by a venomous Egyptian cobra. Other theories propose that she was actually quite familiar with poisons, and even kept some hidden in her hairbrush, just in case she ever needed it. But that doesn't necessarily mean she chose to use it on herself. The mystery deepens with every new piece of evidence we uncover. Now let me share some incredible facts about Cleopatra that most people don't know. She actually had her own personal stylist. Most images you've seen of this famous queen show her eyes surrounded by thick black kohl, creating that iconic dramatic look. This signature style was created by Eris, a servant known to be her personal cosmetician. Eris would draw long lines from Cleopatra's eyes to her temples, a makeup technique that's, well, still used today to accentuate and enhance the eyes. But Eris wasn't just a makeup artist though. She served as Cleopatra's trusted confidant and closest friend throughout her life. Some theories even suggest that Eris stood by her side during those final mysterious moments. Despite her elaborate costumes and dramatic appearance, recent research suggests Cleopatra wasn't actually as beautiful as popular culture depicts her. When we look at modern films and artwork, she's represented as a woman of extreme beauty, with perfectly symmetrical, delicate features. However, if we examine ancient coins bearing her profile from that time period, her appearance leaves much to be desired. But wait, fellow detectives, her image on those coins may have been deliberately exaggerated to make the queen more recognizable to her people. So, we don't really have any truly reliable source to confirm her actual appearance. Most ancient texts that mention her focus on her other remarkable qualities, like her eloquence, intelligence, and magnetic personality, rather than her physical beauty. Cleopatra may be the most famous Egyptian queen in history, but she wasn't actually the first choice for the throne. She had an older sister named Berenice who briefly occupied the throne before being overthrown after just 3 years of rule. After that, Cleopatra prepared herself to assume the role and began dedicating herself completely to her education. She traveled frequently throughout the country to familiarize herself with her people and understand their needs. She was only 18 years old when the reins of power were handed to her, and she immediately gained popularity due to her extraordinary intelligence and extensive education. Her love for literature was legendary. She was known to be fond of the works of Homer, the famous Greek poet. Cleopatra loved writing just as much as she loved reading. There's even speculation that she wrote a book about medicine and cosmetics, though we have no proof today that this work ever actually existed. Being a great ruler during that era meant it was essential to speak multiple languages, and Cleopatra clearly understood this principle. It's whispered that she knew many languages to varying degrees. Some archaeologists have suggested she mastered Greek, Egyptian, and Ethiopian, as well as numerous Arabic dialects. She may have also spoken Latin, but there's little evidence to support this hypothesis. Here's something that will blow your mind about her wealth. When she was at the height of her power, Cleopatra may well have been the richest person in the entire world. At that time, she ruled over territory that stretched across the Mediterranean, from what is now Libya in the west, through Egypt, all the way to Syria in the Far East. This was the largest territory ever ruled by a woman in ancient times. In today's currency, her fortune could have been close to $95 billion. The calendar we use today may have actually been introduced by Cleopatra herself. She's the one who supposedly presented the idea of leap years and intercalary days to Julius Caesar, the Roman general with whom we know she was very close. Following her advice, Caesar made these adjustments an integral part of the Roman calendar. Ancient Egyptians already knew that the year was longer than exactly 365 days. They discovered this by studying the brightest star in the sky called Sirius, and concluded that a year actually lasted 365 1/4 days. Now let's talk about what archaeologists have found in that mysterious tunnel so far. They've discovered clay pots, dozens of coins bearing the images of Cleopatra and Alexander the Great, and even a bust depicting the Egyptian queen herself. These artifacts strongly suggest that something incredibly important lies deeper within this ancient passageway. It's also possible that she's buried there alongside the Roman commander Mark Antony. According to ancient documents, Cleopatra and Mark Antony were deeply in love, and together they opposed the Roman Senate, which declared Antony a traitor. Fellow explorers, the excavations may need to be conducted underwater and through thick mud. This will require enormous amounts of time and financial resources, but archaeologists are absolutely certain it's worth every effort. What we discover in that tomb could honestly revolutionize our understanding of ancient Egypt during the reign of its last great dynasty. The treasures, documents, and artifacts waiting in those depths might finally solve mysteries that have puzzled humanity for over 2,000 years. Which ancient civilization do you think was the most advanced, and why? What archaeological discovery would you like to see in the future? What do you think really happened to Cleopatra in those final days? Share your theories and insights with our community of fellow explorers in the comments below. Before we conclude today's incredible journey, make sure you've subscribed to Treasures of History and activated the notification bell so you never miss our archaeological adventures. Share this video with fellow history lovers who need to know about these amazing discoveries. Join us next time as we continue our quest to uncover the treasures that time forgot and the secrets that change the world forever. Until